there couldn't have been a better time for us to do this webinar because of the fact that we are in a place that none of us would have ever experienced or thought we would have experienced in our lives, thanks to COVID-19. What disappoints me a lot is what I'm not hearing. And yes, I am a part of the media, so I guess to some degree I have to take some responsibility for this. But what I'm not hearing in all of the reporting that's being done around the world, I'm not hearing loudly enough that the best way to protect yourself against COVID-19 is to have a strong immune system. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody is talking about, oh, you have to wait for a vaccine to come out, and it could be a year before we see a vaccine. And in the meantime, just hunker down and stay away from people and all this kind of thing. And I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do other than what is being advised that we do in terms of the social distancing and washing of the hands and all that kind of stuff. That's very important. But what is so important that we're not hearing is that the best defense against COVID-19 or any other virus or any ailment, as you'll find out in this webinar today, is a strong immune system. If your body is strong, it will not be susceptible to viruses and other ailments that so plague us here in the Bahamas. For those of you, and we do have some special guests on the line, and I'm going to pause for a moment at some point for them to introduce themselves to you. But for those of you who don't live in the Bahamas, you may not be aware that the Bahamas is one of the sickest nations in the world. We lead the world in diabetes and high blood pressure and cancer. When I say lead the world, I'm talking top 10. Cancer, all types, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney ailments, obesity is off the charts in the Bahamas. We are one of the sickest nations in the world. And I think a large part of that, I'm getting people calling me who are probably having a hard time signing on, and I can't answer right now, so I'm sorry, Barry. But I think a reason for that is because of poor nutrition. Poor nutrition. Our diets are horrible in the Bahamas. We have, oh man, the food is delicious, but it will kill you. We have really, really bad eating habits in the Bahamas. We'll fry water if we could. Everything is fried. We eat a lot of starches, sugar, everything that's bad. The Bahamas, top of the list. It's what we do. And we see where we have young, old, and in between who are suffering from, debilitating illnesses. We have children in this country on dialysis. And one of our islands, there's so much, I believe it's Mexico, there's so much kidney disease that they actually have their own dialysis center. Well, this was before Dorian, because Dorian just pretty much, decimated that island. But I'm just trying to set a stage here for what we're going to be talking about today. We are a very sick nation. And one of the things that we like to preach in Youngevity, and I'm here representing Youngevity today, is that we often say that we are in the business of shortening prayer lists. Because people pray, and I'm a believer, I'm a born-again Christian, so I'm a believer in God and the power of prayer. Don't get me wrong, don't mistake what I'm about to say. But, we get these ailments and we turn to prayer and we're praying, Lord, please heal us. Lord, please heal me. Please heal me. Please heal me. And sometimes there's a miracle and the person is healed, and oftentimes they are not. And it's because God put us on this earth to manage the earth, and he put us in these human houses called our bodies. And our bodies are governed by rules and regulations, which when we follow them, we thrive. And when we don't, we don't. And so what we're going to be talking about today is what to do to give your bodies the best chance at not only beating COVID-19, but beating high blood pressure, beating diabetes, beating obesity, beating cancer, beating kidney failure. All of that stuff can be avoided through proper nutrition. And I'm going to treat the show today, not show, oh my goodness, that's an occupational habit. As you guys know, I'm a talk show host, and I have a show called The Paradigm Shift for those of you who are not in the Bahamas and are not aware. And so I may slip up from time to time and say my show today, but it's actually not a show.
It's a show. It's a show. We're all showing.
But I'm going to treat this. I'm going to treat this like I do my show. And what I normally do on my show is, in addition to the discussion, in addition to open line questions, I also play video clips or audio clips that help to explain better what it is, the point that I'm trying to make. And so throughout the webinar today, I'm going to be playing a couple of clips featuring Dr. Joel Wallach, who is the founder of Youngevity, who will, in much better fashion than I can, really explain the importance of nutrition to the body and how to protect yourself from sickness. One of the things that Dr. Wallach says is that this will be the first generation of people who will have to bury their children.
Wow.
And that is as a result of poor nutrition. Our parents and our grandparents ate healthier foods. They didn't have sedentary lifestyles. They went out, particularly those who lived on the island, and they worked farm and they ate from the soil, and they lived much healthier lives. And I'm going to play a clip in a moment from Dr. Wallach explaining what happened, what changed that, and what led to us being in the position where we are today. But before we go to the clips, I want to introduce some special people who are on the call with us today. Two of them, well, three of them, they're all in the United States as well. Cheryl Morley and Paul Croto are the persons who are the leaders of the team that I'm on in Youngevity, and so is Sabina Asadolfo, who is actually the person who introduced me to these amazing products. And I'm just going to pause before we go forward to give them an opportunity to say hello. So Cheryl, Paul, Sabina's not going to turn her camera on because she works in the hospital and she worked the night shift, and she said she's not going to let us see what she looks like after a night shift in the hospital. So I'll only be hearing her voice.
I still will greet you all.
Okay, Sabina, you want to start?
Absolutely. I appreciate this opportunity. I think that it's a brilliant idea just to bring the truth, because whenever we have a truth, we are getting and setting ourselves free, because we have a choice to make a better choice in our life. Because I am on front line and I am active naturopathic nurse, and then at the same time a post-surgical nurse, and I am dealing with the COVID patients every day. So,
God bless you.
And believe me, it's even if we all understand that it's a pandemic, it's a new virus that we are trying to understand how to deal with. But the bottom line, everyone who has a strong immune system, I'm taking myself as an example. I don't have any fear to get and take care of those patients, because thanks God for Youngevity and that knowledge that Dr. Wallach gave us, and those amazing nutrients that I am taking. My body is rocking. So I am strong, my immune system is strong, and I can take care not only myself, but at the same time to take great care for my patients too. And I'm very excited that Cheryl and Paul is here. I will let them to talk, and I appreciate their time. They're extremely busy people and very successful in longevity, and I personally admire them because they're touching lives, not only in I would say thousands, but more than many thousands people. And I appreciate that they're here so they can just give us their own input too.
I am so humbled to have them both here. Thank you so much to both of you. I really, really appreciate this. So Cheryl or Paul, whoever wants to go first, just say hi first, please.
Okay, I'll go. Hi. Hi, you guys. Oh my gosh. Hi,
Hi.
Michelle. I feel like I haven't seen you for such a long
I
time.
know, I know.
I'm so honored to be on with you guys today, and hello, and this is wonderful. And Sabina, really, I mean, I'm like getting all choked up, and thank you so much for what you're doing. I know, see, I told you I'm getting choked up. I know it's hard, and I know that it's so, I mean, you know, it's so stressful, and I love what you said, that it's all about the knowledge that you have of the products that you're taking, the things that Dr. Wallach says and that he's taught us over all these years, and how important it is to build our immune system. And Michelle, what a wonderful topic. I mean, honestly, and it's so funny when Paul and I talked, he said, Cheryl, I was just wondering today, why is it that they're studying all of the people who have the coronavirus? Why are they not studying all of us who don't have it? That's what's important. Why are we not getting it? Right? And I think that's an absolute true fact. I think it's so amazing. And another thing, Michelle, that that really caught my attention is just the Bahamas, which, by the way, you guys, I love. Like, I wanted to come there on spring break, and we had it all planned. And I love to come to the Bahamas. I love the people in the Bahamas. I think that that you guys understand family. I think that you understand the importance, or are beginning to understand the importance of good health and what that means to all of us as a community. So I just love it, and I can hardly wait to come back. But something that you said, Michelle, was that you know, how poor the nutrition is. My goodness, that's going all across the world that we're finding these days. And Dr. Wallach talks a little bit about how, yes, the poor nutrition is so important, and almost as important as that is what we're not putting in our body, bodies, right? So that's just a whole nother thing. And I know you're going to speak a little bit more about that, but thank you so much for letting me come on. This was awesome. And I'm excited to hear what you guys are going to talk about. And I'm just here to listen and learn. So with that, I will turn the time over to like my friend and leadership coach and like training extraordinaire, Paul Crito.
What's wrong with it?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Paul.
That's so well said, Cheryl. And I want to echo her thoughts and comments on Michelle, first and foremost, for putting this together. Unbelievable leadership. And this is what has to be done at a time like this. We all got to get together, and we can't get together in person, even though Cheryl and I are in love with the Bahamas, and we fly down at a moment's notice to spend time on with all of you. We just love it down there. And but it's getting together like this in a Zoom room like this. It's so powerful, where we can all get together and have an educated discussion about this. So I want to do a lot of these with all of you. And again, thank you for putting this together, and thank you, Sabina, for your leadership. It's at times like this that we need great people like all of you to lead the charge when the world, it seems like it's falling apart. But I echo your comments, Michelle, about, you know, the media just not covering, you know, the important part, which everyone's so focused on the outside things, the hand washing, the distancing, the masks, all those things, great, absolutely. Can they work? Absolutely. But we all know that nutrition, that health is an inside job. We got to worry about the inside. You know, if you create an environment in your body where you can't get sick, then you can't get sick. And it doesn't matter if it's COVID-19 or COVID-20 or COVID-21, because you know they're coming.
Yeah.
We had all these different viruses and flus and things in the past. We're going to have them in the future again. So, you know, you're not going to wear gloves the rest of your life. You can only wash your hands so many times a day. We need to take care of ourselves and build this amazing, you know, immune system inside of us. So we're really looking forward to this call today, and your take on the immune system and what it can do for you. And it is such an important topic, if not the most important topic to have right now. But as you also said in the beginning of this call, longevity is not just about elevating people's health. It's about elevating people's physical, emotional, and financial health, which we know emotionally, people are actually more stressed out than sick right now because they're so worried about, there's so much fear going on that their emotions are just, you know, they're stressed out of their skull. And financially, people are not healthy right now. There, you know, many millions of people here in the States don't even know where their money's going to come from. We have like 30 million people on unemployment, or not at work. It's a real bad situation. So, you know, this is such a timely meeting to have this, and just so excited to be part of all this with you.
Well, thank you guys for being here. I really, listen, these people are really, really busy. So the fact that you guys are here, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. Okay, so you've heard us talk about Dr. Joel Wallach. He's the founder of Longevity, founded the company back in '97. And I want to just tell you a little bit of his story before we go into the actual nutrition part. So he grew up on a farm, and he often tells a story about how as farmers, they had to figure out a way to keep their animals healthy because, let's face it, farmers aren't going to spend money. Like he said, you're not going to spend, you know, $70,000 on a surgery for a $10,000 bull. So they had to figure out how to keep their animals healthy. And what they figured out was that they fed their animals a lot of minerals, nutrients, etc. They concocted this cocktail, I guess you would call it, and they fed that to the animals, and they found that not only were they keeping them healthy, but they were also healing and reversing illness in the animals. And so he says to his dad one day, well, if this is working for animals, why aren't we doing this for ourselves? And of course, the typical parent is like, boy, go and sit down and go and, you know, milk the cows or whatever. His parents sort of dismissed it. But that curiosity followed him throughout his life. Long story short, because I'm not going to go into a long thing about his credentials, but he became a naturopathic doctor. He did a lot of research, a veterinarian. He did a lot of research on trace minerals and the impacts on the body. His work can be found in the Smithsonian for the great amount of research that he's done on the impact of trace minerals and their ability to heal the body. You can Google him, okay? I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into all of that because I know that you're here really today to talk about building that immune system, boosting that immune system. So Google him, Joel Wallach, that's W-A-L-L-A-C-H. That's how you spell his last name. So he discovered that every single body, man, woman, boy, girl, needs 90 essential nutrients every single day of your life in order to maintain optimum health. So it's like a car. Your car needs certain things to function. Your car needs gasoline, your car needs oil, your car needs coolant. You all who enter cars know more than I do. I'll just stick with those three, okay? So your car needs these things to function. Now, like most women do, if you decide to go drive your car and not even check on the oil, guilty as charged. There may be a time when all of a sudden the car is going to start overheating and acting up, and you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with this car? Nothing's wrong with the car. You just didn't give the car what it needed. Same thing. If you decide, I'm tired of paying for gas, especially here in the Bahamas. I mean, one good thing from COVID-19 is gas prices are real low right now. Normally speaking, we can spend up almost $5 a gallon on gas. I know you people in America can't imagine that, but that's what we live with here. So you might decide, you know what, I'm tired of paying for gas. I'm not going to put any more gas in this car. I'm going to give it orange juice because I like orange juice. And if I like it, the car needs to like it too. So what's going to happen? Your car's going to malfunction because you're giving it, not only, you're not giving it what it does need, but you're giving it what it doesn't need. And so our bodies operate the same way. We were created by God, and in his wisdom, I believe that we came from the earth, and in his wisdom, it takes nutrition from the earth for your body to maintain health and healing and wellness. And when we don't get that nutrition, like the car, our body starts to malfunction because we were not giving it the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, the amino acids that it needs to function. So I'm going to play a clip. One of the books that Dr. Joel Wallach wrote is a book called Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Let's talk about the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's a pretty provocative title. Tell us about it.
Well, basically, the average lifespan of medical doctors, according to their own survey, which came out in 1999, is 56. And so why would anybody want to listen to a group of people whose average lifespan is 56 to live to be 100? Also, this story came out in February 5th, 2007, and it was a big story. It was from the Institute of Medicine, the Journal of the American Medical Association, the Centers for Disease Control, and they said that medical doctors each year, there's a yearly figure, kill, injure, and infect 15 million patients in hospitals and clinics across America alone.
Can you repeat that statistic one more time, please?
They kill, injure, and infect 15 million patients in hospitals and clinics each year in America alone.
Medical doctors.
Medical doctors do, yes. And so how many people would fly commercial airlines if they knew that they killed, injured, and infected 15 million people? How many people would go to a fast food restaurant if they knew they killed, injured, and infected 15 million customers? And so I thought it was quite interesting, since the medical system has been able to wiggle themselves into a protective monopoly that is self-policing since 1914, following a report called the Flexner Report. And they're totally unimpeachable.
So Dead Doctors Don't Lie. What's really the basis for the book? So you reveal those truths,
Yes, sir.
in your book, and then you go into some other topic. In your view, you see that most diseases are essentially the result of a deficiency of a mineral or a vitamin. It can be treated by simply taking a supplement.
That's
in
correct.
most cases.
In most cases, it can be prevented or reversed with nutritional supplements. That includes omega-3s, amino acids, vitamins, minerals. It's called epigenetics. Epigenetics is a term given to the process by which your DNA and your genes require certain nutrients to maximize their genetic potential. In other words, let's say we have the potential to live 200 years, but you only live to be 45 years because you don't give your genes the raw materials they need to get you to the 200-year mark. And so that's where we're at. There's not a skeletal disease that's caused by genes. It's actually all nutritional deficiencies.
We've been sold a bill of goods, telling us that all of these illnesses are a result of all these different things. And really, what Dr. Wallach found is that it's all based on nutrition. And many illnesses, like high blood pressure, for instance, can be solved in a matter of days with nutrition. And I will tell you a true story. When I first got into the company back in 2006, 2016, Sabina and I did a whole tour on the radio talking about the incredible, products and the importance of nutrition. And I got a call from a lady who wanted to come to the meeting but didn't have a ride. And so I said, no problem, I'll pick you up. She lived in Yellow Elder, and I went and I picked her up. And as we were driving to the meeting, she was telling me how her blood pressure was so high, chronic blood pressure, high blood pressure, that when she laid down at night, her eyes would turn red. And she was telling me all these different symptoms that she was having. And I'm driving and I'm praying in the back of my mind, thinking, Lord, please don't let this woman die in my vehicle, because it was that bad. It was really that bad. And so she went with me to the meeting, and she enjoyed what she heard. And as we were driving back, she says, Miss Malcolm, I really would like to, try the products, but I don't have any money. I said, okay. So I dropped her home, and then I told Sabina and the others, and they said, well, let's bless her with a month's supply of the products. And I took the products to her. She literally wept as I dropped them off to her. She said, Miss Malcolm, thank you so much. I said, now do me a favor, please. Even though I'm giving you these products, and even though I know they will work, you need to go to the clinic because you are very, very ill. Please promise me that you're going to go to the clinic and have the doctor check you out. She says, yeah, I'm going to go. I said, no, like tomorrow, you need to go to the clinic because you really have me concerned. So she promised me she would go. So 2 weeks later, I called her back just to check on her. And I'm like, Miss Brown, I'm just calling to check on you to see how you're doing. Oh, Miss Malcolm, I feel so good. I said, good. I said, did you go to the clinic? She said, just go on Tuesday. I said, Miss Brown, that was 2 weeks ago. I told you to go to the clinic. You just went to the clinic on Tuesday? I said, what did the doctor pressure normal? She had no trace of high blood pressure after 2 weeks of nutrition. High blood pressure gone. And that is just one of many examples that I can give you. The food that we eat today does not have the same nutritional value as the food that our grandparents ate, because the soils have been so depleted thanks to modern day farming techniques that the food that is coming from the soil does not have the nutritional value that our grandparents would have enjoyed. For those of us here in the Bahamas, like my grandparents lived on the island of Cat Island, and they did a lot of their own farming. And one of the techniques that they used to use back then is what they would call slash and burn. And I don't know if they realized it or not, but what they were actually doing when they would slash and burn was they were replenishing the earth with minerals, because the ash from the wood is not really ash, but that is a great source of the minerals that came from the earth. And so whenever they would slash and burn, the earth would be replenished with the minerals, and the food that came from the trees that grew out of the earth were mineral rich. In this next clip, we're going to hear how that all changed with the advent of electricity.
Absolutely impossible to have an adequate diet eating healthy. And there's 2 reasons for that, Gary. Number one, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street, New York City, on the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. Within 10 years, every town, every municipality, and every city in the industrialized world converted from wood as the universal fuel into electricity. Well, wood was our source of nutritional minerals for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, because the ashes aren't really ashes. Their minerals are left when you burn the wood for fuel. You would throw these minerals, aka wood ashes, into the garden. The corn and the beans and tomatoes and sweet potatoes and onions would soak up those minerals. You'd eat them and you get your minerals in that fashion. Once we went to electricity, nobody replaced that traditional source of mineral nutrients. Secondly, we began to dam up the big rivers for 2 reasons. Number one, people complained about flooding in the cities. And then secondly, they needed more electricity because the demand for electricity grew. Well, when it would flood every year, the flood would leave silt and mud in the fields, which are a source of minerals from mountains hundreds of miles away. And the farmers would plow that back in. So the mineral source is renewed into the fields every year by flooding, and every day, at least in the rows near the farmer's house, by throwing the wood ashes out into the garden. Both those sources, the traditional sources of nutritional minerals, went away. And here come the medical doctors. Don't you dare take vitamins and minerals. You can overdose, you know. And so that, between the respected person telling people not to take supplements, our source of nutritional minerals going away because the wood ashes went away because of electricity use, and damming up the rivers so we no longer got flooding, we're in big trouble.
We are in big trouble because we're not giving our bodies the raw material that they need to function. And the medical profession has done a really good snow job on us, making us believe that it is the pharmaceuticals that is going to bring us health and healing. Nothing could be further from the truth. They would have you believe that in order to manage your high blood pressure, you have to be on medication. I have a thyroid condition, and they have told me that I have to take thyroid medication for the rest of my life. So this is a way for the medical profession, big pharma, to continue to make money. I'm sorry, but they are not in the business of healing you. They're not. They are in the business of managing illness. Now, in case there are any doctors on here, I don't want you to get me wrong. Doctors play a very important role. They are brilliant at treating acute illness. Brilliant. If you're having a heart attack, going and drinking some supplements at that time isn't going to help you. You need a doctor if you're having a heart attack. So they're really good at that. But when it comes to chronic illness and reversing chronic illness, I dare say that they're not so good. Because for one reason, They do not understand nutrition and the power of nutrition. A couple of months ago, our Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, was a guest on my show, The Paradigm Shift. And I made the statement that doctors have not been trained in nutrition. And he said, oh, that's a false statement. That's a false statement. Of course they have. And so he started Googling to see the typical hours that a medical doctor gets trained while they're in college studying for medicine, the typical hours that they train in nutrition. 15 hours total. Out of what, 6 years? Studying to become a doctor, 8 years? I don't know how long it is. I know it's more than 4 years. 6 years, let's say 6 years to become a doctor. 15 hours of training in nutrition. I don't call that training, I call that skimming over. So clearly they do not have an appreciation for the value of nutrition. And it hurts my heart when I come across people who clearly need nutrition, but choose not to do it because the doctors say, I need to just take this medication. The doctors say. Some years ago, before I was introduced to longevity, I started having this pain in my chest. And I thought, do I have a heart condition? I was really starting to get concerned because it was getting worse and worse. And so I went to the doctor and she did a full, test on me. And she came back with the results and she says, you have acid reflux disease. And I said, what? She says, you have acid reflux disease. And she did what doctors do. She prescribed medication. She prescribed Nexium. I took it for the first 3 days because I wanted relief. And then I decided to Google Nexium. And when I saw the side effects of Nexium, I said, hell to the no. I ain't doing this. And so I Googled how to become alkaline, how to get rid of acid reflux. And I followed the instructions that I found online to do it naturally. Acid reflux gone. No purple pill. No side effects. Now, if it was up to the medical profession and big pharma, I would probably still be taking Nexium. Every time I had a flare-up, I'd pop a pill. Because they won't tell you that you can heal the body naturally through nutrition. And quite frankly, there's a reason why they're not going to tell you that, because then how are they going to make their money? How are they going to stay in business if they heal you as opposed to treat you?
Let's look at things like very simple stuff like joint replacements. A hip replacement in America costs $78,000. Deals with one joint, doesn't deal with the other 71 joints of the body. Our program for supporting and promoting maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, joints, if you will, backs, it would cost for a 200-pound man, big fellow like yourself, it would cost, say, $1,500 for 3 months, $1,500, and after that, $250 a month for maintenance, as opposed to $78,000. The thing that's broken America financially is the high cost of ineffective, dangerous medical treatments. Okay, and so it's much better to use supplements than it is to do surgery.
Gary, who is a Bahamian, is a living testimony of exactly what Dr. Wallach just spoke about. He was diagnosed with sciatica and was told by his doctors that he needed to have surgery on his spine.
In 2016, January, I was diagnosed with just degenerative disease, severe pain in my lower back, sciatic nerve pain down my right leg. I got the MRIs done, everything showed all images, did the back decompression therapy and that stuff. I then heard about the product, Longevity, on the radio station in May of that year, 2016. Started taking the product in June. I was taking it ever since, with the exception of 1 or 2 months where it might have fallen off, but I was always consistent with it. And in the end of February 2018, I then got another MRI done to compare the two images about 2 years, because I recall Leon one of Dr. Wallach's promotions on YouTube. They said basically with those bone disease, it normally takes about 2 years. So I say, you know what, it's almost 2 years now, a year and a half for taking the product. So I had the MRI done February 28th of 2018. Went to see my spine doctor March 1st, 2018. He then said, looking at the image, both images, the technician report from the MRI, which was done, and then he said, well, Gary, why are you here? You're not having no pain or nothing. I said, well, doctor, just wanted to see the comparison, the product, and what I've been doing from then to now. He said, based on this report, my bone has healed over 75%.
It's medical doctors who say that supplements are dangerous. Well, in 2007, Gary, the FDA finally submitted to the pressure of the pharmaceutical industry and doctors and reported for the first time ever, the report. So it would be coming in for people saying, I got diarrhea, but taking too much vitamin C. I got itchy skin from taking too much niacin. And I got headaches from taking some of those herbs that are in energy drinks. My heart really went fast, and I went to the emergency room. 600 reports, adverse events reports, they call them, in 2007, reported in 2008 for herbs, vitamins, and minerals. The same year, 2007, reported in 2008, there was just short of 500,000 adverse event reports for prescribed pharmaceuticals. 500,000 versus 600. And of course, most of the 500,000 were deaths.
We know situations right here in the Bahamas where a person's going to the hospital for one thing and either they don't come out. I mean, we just had a case of somebody who went into the hospital for a condition and died after contracting coronavirus in the hospital. So we know that this is a problem. And yet they would try to have you believe that nutrition is a bad thing, that anybody who tries to tell you that you should try to heal yourself through nutrition is a quack. And we really have to get to the point where we take our health into our own hands. And I'm not trying to dispel the importance of doctors. I'm not trying to do that. But you have to learn to think for yourself when it comes to your health. Because they would have you believe that the answer is the pharmaceutical, but the pharmaceutical is only managing your illness. It is not healing you. I intentionally put that clip in there with Gary, who's a Bahamian who gave his testimony about sciatica, because, you know, oftentimes in meetings like these, you hear all these foreign people and their testimonies and you think, okay, how come I don't see any local faces in that? And when he talks about hearing about this on the radio, it was actually Sabina and I who were on the radio show. And he calls and he says, my doctors are telling me I have to have surgery on my spine. Do you think this can help? Because they're telling me that there's no way that this can be dealt with otherwise than surgery. And I really don't want to have anybody tinkling with my spine. And I said, I guarantee you, if you give your body the nutrition it needs, it will heal itself. He says, you're not just trying to sell me a product. I said, no, I'm not. He says, if this doesn't work, I'm coming to look for you. I said, go right ahead. You heard his testimony out of his own mouth. Gary is now a believer because nutrition healed his back to the point where he did not have to have surgery. I know you all probably know who Andrew Young is, former mayor of Atlanta. Andrew Young was scheduled to have 2 knee replacements. Cartilage gone. Doctors telling him there's no way to regrow cartilage. You have to have knee replacements. Luckily, somebody introduced him to Dr. Wallach just before he was supposed to have his surgery, and Dr. Wallach convinced him not to do it. He started taking the products, started giving his body the nutrition it needed. Regrew cartilage in both knees. No surgery needed. Creflo Dollar, his daughter had a terrible case of asthma, really, really bad. Someone introduced him to the whole concept of nutrition. Daughter starting taking the products, asthma gone. So I say all that to say that, again, we need to get to the point where we take our health, responsibility for our health into our own hands, and we educate ourselves beyond just what the doctor tells us. Because again, they're in the business of managing your illness. And if you want healing, I'm telling you, our bodies were designed. If you get a little cut on your hand, what happens? After a while, you'll start to see that cut healing itself, because our bodies were designed by God to heal. But you need to give your body the raw material it needs to function to be able to heal. And I dare say that many of the illnesses that our people are facing today are because their bodies just don't have the material that they need to function and to heal. If they gave them what they needed, they would heal. That's how God designed our bodies, to heal. Now, you may ask, why do you need 90 essential nutrients and minerals? Why can't I just take the ones that I like? I like vitamin C. I think calcium is pretty good. I've heard good stuff about selenium. So why don't I just go to the store and just get those 3 and call it a day?
What are some of the, would you say, top 10 vitamins that people really need to focus on?
Okay, well, a cake recipe, of course, let's say it has 25 ingredients. What if you just take the 10 you like and leave out the other 15? You're not going to have a very good cake, right? It's going to be a pancake, it's going to taste awful, or it's going to be gritty, or it's not going to be right. And so we like to talk about all the known essential nutrients. We're supposed to be at the high end of the intelligence chain. So let's take all 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. So to get the complete cake recipe, you need all 90. And so I'm always reluctant to pick out the top 10 of any one thing. And when you look at the top multiples on the market, regardless of brand, you're looking at 28 to 30 nutrients in there, maybe 13 minerals. Well, what about the other 47? On the average, each mineral gives you, and deficiency will give you anywhere from 10 to 25 diseases. Calcium deficiency alone gives you 147 different diseases. Then, when you look at, you go to a health food store, or you go to a grocery or a pharmacy, they'll have vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, zinc. And if you buy a $10 bottle of these nutrients, and you have to get 72 bottles to get each of your nutrients, you're looking at $720 for a month. Okay, so we've gotten it down to using natural products, and we test everything to make sure each batch has all 90 essential nutrients in optimal amounts. I've been doing this for 68 years. And if everybody does this, the medical system will be real humble.
Dr. Wallach is how old now? I think at least, 86, 87 years old? The more senior people can tell us. Still sprightly, I could hardly keep up with him. And he is so adamant about the message of nutrition, so adamant. He travels around the world. When he was here the last time, I had an opportunity to set up a meeting with him and the Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands. And so one of the questions Dr. Sands asked him was, so where do you live? He says, Delta Airlines, because that's how much he travels around the world, just spreading the message of nutrition. I met someone the other day who was in his 60s and like really in bad shape. I mean, really, really in bad shape. And he looked at me and he says, I wish I had taken better care of my body. If I'd known I had lived this long, I would have taken better care of my body when I was younger. He says, I didn't expect to live this long. So I say that to say that, we need to just take better care of ourselves because we don't know how long we're going to be here. I mean, God forbid we don't get hit by a car or anything like that. But if we intend to have long, fruitful lives, then it just makes sense to take care of the one house that you've been given to traverse this earth with. And that's where the whole question of nutrition comes in. This conversation goes so much further than just boosting your immune system. That right now is very important because of COVID-19. But the whole idea is to make your body so strong that it can fight, keep off COVID-19 or any other ailment from overtaking you because of the fact that you are so healthy. Being sick is not a normal part of aging. People think, oh, the older you get, that's a part of growing old. You're going to get sick. No, that's not true. Illness is not a normal part of aging. If you take care of your body, it will stay young. When we see people who are older and struggling, it's with illness, etc., that is not normal. That's not a normal part of aging. we've just been conditioned to believe that. Even conditions like Alzheimer's. Doc Wallach always says that's a physician-created disease. Alzheimer's has been linked to, for example, the use of cholesterol-lowering medication, because your brain matter is made up of mostly cholesterol. And when you lower cholesterol levels in the body too low, it affects the brain. I've become like I get excited when I'm talking to people about nutrition, and often when I hear of people who are going through Alzheimer's or dementia, my first question is, have you been taking, or has this person been taking cholesterol lowering medication? Always the answer is yes. And I say to them, you might want to not do that, because that is what is impacting the brain. Alzheimer's, even birth defects can be avoided through proper nutrition. Birth defects are often a result of a woman not having a proper level of nutrition while she's pregnant. Every chronic disease known to man is a result from a nutritional deficiency. And one of the problems with the approach of the medical profession is that if you go to them with a headache, they're going to treat the pain where it's at. So they're going to give you something to get rid of the headache, as opposed to trying to figure out what caused the headache. So as opposed to treating just the symptom, what nutrition does is it gets to the source of the problem. So you have to correct it from the source. I told you guys that I have a thyroid problem. I was furious to learn that one of the things that leads to thyroid ill health in women is soy milk. I was drinking soy milk thinking that this was healthy because that's how it had been marketed. Another thing that I was very upset to learn is that, and this is important to understand, disease for the most part begins in your gut. That's where disease begins. If you have a healthy gut, that's the first step. But disease often begins in the gut. And so for persons who are susceptible to gluten, for instance, it could lead to something called leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome happens when you eat gluten, it damages the wall of your gut, of your intestines. Microscopic holes are punctured, and then stuff starts leaking into your bloodstream that shouldn't be there. And your body goes into attack mode, because that's how it was designed, and it starts attacking itself. And that leads to autoimmune diseases like thyroid problems, like lupus. They're not telling us this. All they're doing is they're treating the thyroid, or they're treating the arthritis. They're not looking at how the whole body is interconnected, how it all works as this machine. And if one part of the machine goes down, it's going to affect other parts. So this is one of the reasons why you really have to do your own research, to figure out what is the best way, what is the best approach for me to deal with this particular illness. And one of the things that Doc Wallach always says is that no amount of nutrition will outdo a poor diet. So if you're eating poorly, you could be taking nutrition from now until you're blue in the face. It's not going to make any difference. You got to clean up your diet. You got to stop being sedentary. In other words, move more, even if it's just, I mean, we're in lockdown now. We can't go to the gym. We can't go. So what I've been doing is I walk around my yard for 30 minutes to get my exercise in. Because I lost over the past several months almost 50 pounds. And I don't want to go back to where I was. And I just want to even talk about another thing that contributes to illness that is a big thing in the Bahamas and people don't realize. And that is toxins, environmental toxins. Because one of the reasons why I had gained so much weight is because I was unknowingly exposed to toxic mold and living in a place with toxic mold growing behind the walls for 17 months. And this is my personal testimony about why I'm so excited about nutrition through longevity. I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker as a result of living in that place. But I knew that whatever I was dealing with, I was going to fight it through nutrition. I was doubling up and tripling up and, you know, just taking a lot of nutrition to try to fight whatever it was. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And it was so bad that one of the signs of mold toxicity is dehydration. I had become so dehydrated that I started passing out. Like one day, this is when I lived in Bimini, one day I literally passed out and while in town, and they had to rush me to the clinic and put me on a drip. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Finally, one day I prayed. I said, Lord, you have to show me what is wrong, because I was literally, that would have killed me had I not, you know, had the Lord not revealed to me what was wrong. And I tell people that two things saved my life: grace of God and longevity. Because after praying that prayer, the Holy Spirit says to me, look up the connection between dehydration and mold, just like that. And I Googled dehydration and mold. And when the results came up on that website, I said, oh my God. Because out of 14 symptoms displayed on that website, I was displaying 11. I was really, really bad. Long story short, I found a clinic, a naturopathic clinic in Ohio, flew there, spent 3 weeks in deep detoxification to get that poison out of my system. And I took my products with me so that they could see what I was doing. And I said, these are the products that I've been taking. And they said to me, well, first of all, they put me on this, they hooked me up with this machine called a biofeedback machine, which they use on astronauts. And it read the symptoms, you know, what's going on with your body. And on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the highest degree of toxic burden and 10 being the lowest, my number came back as a 1. And the people at the clinic told me I was teetering, but it was the products that I had been taking that were helping my body to fight. I am convinced that had it not been for those nutritional products that I was taking through that, I would have died. I would have died in that place. So if I am excited, it's because I am a living testimony of what nutrition can do to heal your body, even in the worst circumstances.
With the exception of antibiotics, which do cure syphilis, antibiotics will cure strep throat, bacterial meningitis, gangrene, these sorts of things. With the exception of antibiotics, which is about 500 of them in the physician's desk reference, there's not a single pharmaceutical that's prescribed by medical doctors that cure anything. They all relieve symptoms. There's no law requiring a doctor to cure you when there's a cure available. For instance, rheumatoid arthritis is curable in 2 weeks. But why would a doctor want to make $300 in office calls by curing you of your rheumatoid arthritis in 2 or 3 weeks when he can make $750,000 by treating you for 25 years? Insurance pays. Why worry about it?
So having the supplements would
prevent that from happening, because you put 6 quarts of oil in your car to prevent the engine from burning up. Do you put the 6 quarts of oil in your car after the engine burns up or before the engine burns up? So you take the 90 essential nutrients before you get sick, you just don't get sick.
If you give your body the nutrition it needs, you won't get sick. You won't get COVID-19. You won't get diabetes. You won't get heart disease. You won't get Alzheimer's. You won't get sick if you give your body what it needs. I said all of that to say, if you give your body the raw material it needs, the nutrition it needs, you will not get sick. If you're already sick, I have great news. You can reverse conditions just by giving your body the raw materials that it needs to function. If you give your body 90 essential minerals, nutrients, amino acids, essential fatty acids, I guarantee you, if it's not too far gone, because there are some cases that are too far gone, but if it's not too far gone, I'm telling you, you can heal through nutrition.
You know, when you talk about a healthy diet, that a lot of people don't understand what a healthy diet is. And one of the points that I really would like to make is that we should always source our food from as local and as fresh as we can. And
Yes.
unfortunately, in Nassau, you have a very good and successful farmers market, but our food is our medicine, and the right food choices. Don't buy the foods that you like, but buy the foods that are best suited for you from a responsible and organic, preferably grower.
Yeah.
You can grow good food in contaminated soil or use chemicals to boost their production, and you're still not eating healthy. So it's very important, and I'm happy that our government is promoting the backyard farming. You know, as Aberconeme, a lot of people get in touch with us. We're the only certified organic farm in the country. And people get in touch with us and ask, how can we grow organically and not have to use pesticides for insect prevention?
Yeah.
We do have a product that you can use, as you probably know, the neem cake. But the importance is that people have to think, what I'm putting in my soil, the seed that they're planting, where they're growing it, how they're growing it, what they're putting on it is just as important as what they're getting out of it.
You're right.
And in these economic times where everybody is watching their dollar, they can buy a sweet pepper from the food store and plant those seeds, a tomato. We still can plant every fruit that we get. We should try to plant the seed from it.
Yeah.
And grow what grows. We can grow in the Bahamas. Seaweed is an excellent mineral source for plants, for bodies too, but for your plants. And ash, we use ash in every.
Somebody's talking in the background. I got to figure out who that is.
It's okay. Every time we plant on the farm, we use ash, seaweed, neem cake, and you know, I'm not familiar with the longevity products. I'm very happy that you're promoting a naturopathic supplement, and I'm sure they're excellent. But within our own communities, if we just look at the things that grow naturally around us until we can, you know, maybe source the ideal. That's why we promote the sale, the planting of neem trees. You don't only have to buy our medicinal packaged products that are sold in the pharmacies. You can get a tree of your own, chew the leaf, drink the tea. Find the right products that are accessible to you within your local communities and use them. Stop being lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop being lazy. Everybody wants instant gratification. They want to pop a pill. We've got to get away from that. Our planet is demanding it, and our lifestyles now have to follow suit. Health is a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Proper nutrition, proper rest. We haven't mentioned that, but our bodies need to rest. And when I mean to be able to heal.
Yeah.
It needs to move. We're machines. If you don't move a car for a long time, it'll just not start. We have to move. And I'm happy to hear you're doing in your garden, people in their houses. There's all kinds of virtual activities that you can use. And also try to be outside in nature. Nature is so healing. And just the act of planting a seed and putting your hand in the soil is connecting you to the universe that we're living in. All very good and necessary components for good health.
Thank you so much for that input. Thank you so much. One of the things that I didn't get to say is that not all supplements are created equal. So you have people who will say, well, I'll use a friend of mine as an example. When I was telling her that she needed to, try nutrition to fight her health goals, she says, well, I take vitamins. I said, well, what kind of vitamins do you take? She says, Spring Valley. I bought them when I was away in the United States. So I Googled Spring Valley just to look at ingredients, and she was shocked to learn that only 4% of the contents listed on the bottle were actually in those vitamins. Not all vitamins are created equal. You need plant-based nutrition. Plant-based nutrition, because synthetic vitamins will only damage your body. And
well, one of the points, Michelle, sorry to cut you off, but what people don't understand is When you put a chemically or a artificially created product in your body has to now understand that composition, that chemical, has to break it down. It puts more stress on your immune system.
Yes.
Because now it's trying to understand a foreign component. That is how I explain plant-based or natural products against things that have been formulated in a factory. I mean, neem, they've tried to recreate that in an artificial method, but it hasn't been successful because, like the B vitamins, it's a combination of ingredients that work together as a family. When you take out one or two active ingredients, you're not going to get the same result.
Yeah, yeah. But it's important to know that all supplements are not created equal. There's something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of the big name supplement companies, guess who they're produced by?
Pharmaceutical
Big
companies.
Pharma. So they get you one way or the other.
Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me on your show.
Okay, huh? Thanks so much for joining us.
But I'm going to have to leave.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk.
Take care.
All righty. So they're going to get you one way or the other. Either you're going to buy their medication or they're going to swing you into believing that their supplements are healthy when they're actually just synthetic stuff created in a lab. So you really, all supplements aren't created equal. And some people say, oh, you know, it's too expensive to supplement. Well, it's not as expensive as surgery. It's not as expensive as hip replacement. It's not as expensive as dialysis. So, you know, it's all relative. You know, I look at it as an investment in my own health and future. So I don't see it as an expense. I see it as an investment because, you know, some people are only very excited about making money, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is a financial component to longevity for those who are interested in that. Some people only want the products, and so you know we get them in as preferred customers, and other people want to create a residual income, so that's an option. But I always tell people, you could make all the money in the world, but it means nothing if you're ill. Look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is one of the wealthiest people in the world. And at the end of the day, his money could not save his life. So, yes, you should be interested in your finances. I'm not telling you not to do that because, you know, money answereth all things. At the end of the day, if you're sick, you can't enjoy it anyway. So it's really important that you take as much or even more care of your health, because you know it's pointless to have all the money in the world and you can't enjoy it because you're sick. In the last words of Bob Marley, money can't buy life. So so it just makes sense to try to pay attention to your health, especially in this day and time. People call me a conspiracy theorist because of some of the shows that I've been doing on the paradigm shift. I don't think, and I'm not going to go too far into this because I don't want to digress, but let me just put it this way. There is this big push towards vaccine. That's not the way, folks. That's not the way. I haven't had a flu shot in years, and neither have I had the flu in years, because my immune system is so strong. I don't need a vaccine to protect me against the flu. So
I can totally support you in that. As a nurse, even being in a hospital, can you hear me well?
yes, we can hear you.
Thanks God, we still have a constitutional rights not to be on mandatory vaccination in the United States.
Can you let me know who's speaking, please?
That's Sabina Asadova.
Yeah,
Sabina.
so I haven't had any flu shots done, even though as a nurse in a hospital, they required to have it. So if you will be interested on get additional information on how much heavy metal you're getting into your body, we can definitely provide some more information. But just to support what Michelle was sharing, and the lady, I didn't catch her name, from
Daphne.
Africa.
Definitely.
We are not only promoting the nutritions for our body, we do have a raw minerals that you can actually put into your garden and support the initiative and grow your own fruits and vegetables. So we do have a couple of families in NASA and with the Rochelle. It's a free port. They do have already the crops, and they collected the crops with our minerals not twice a year. I believe it was 4 times a year. So it's raw, organic, and it's promoting all the trace minerals, and it's only 77 trace minerals that comes into your soil and gives the same minerals into your crop. But what we're promoting to get that raw nutrients to your body that will help to restart our body producing the new cells every day. So every day God gives us the chance to start the new healthier life. So based on what you put in, you providing that raw material for your body to start to rebuild the new cells. So I think Michelle does have amazing opportunity, maybe as a gift, to give you like a free health evaluation report,
Yeah.
and you can figure out how close you are or how far you are to reach your optimal health. So I think it's amazing just to figure out what is your health score, where you're at right now, how much are you deficient? Because what we do, we approaching very individually. We do have very customized approach to every person because we're all different. We have all different combination of deficiencies and the health issues, symptoms. And that's the unique approach we have. We can address every need and every symptoms that you have and to help your body to rebuild itself. So I'm open to the questions. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer too.
And guys, what I'm going to do while we wait for your questions, I'm going to put in the chat the address to the online health evaluation survey. You can fill this out, and what it will do is it will tell you exactly where you are at from a health perspective. One of the things that we do not do in longevity is just throw things at you. So you know, somebody will come to me and say, I have a problem with my headaches or whatever. What do you recommend I take? And I said, no, what you need to do is you need to do a full health assessment survey, because what that will do is it will tell us what is going on in your body. And once we know that, then we can direct you as to what you should be taking and, you know, what's going to help you to overcome. Guys, I want to tell you something. Did you know that you can actually reverse gray through nutrition, gray hair? You can, I'm not saying, I didn't say you have to go and color your hair. You can actually reverse gray hair through nutrition. Do we have any questions?
Hi, I'm going to ask a question about the environment and factoring in the environment. I call myself a tree-hugging architect, and I see, for example, remember our Minister of the Environment said there's 60,000 derelict vehicles across in Providence. That constitutes to contamination because it stores water that can be contaminated. It's a perfect breeding ground for rodents. Our dump is located at the exact center point of Providence, and even though it's not burning, it still smells. My daughter lived in that area for 7 years of her life. She was very healthy, track athlete, volleyball, the whole show. She developed an autoimmune disease called polymyositis, where all of her major muscles shut down. Legs, arms, completely shut down. She is immobile for all of her most of her 15th year. So there is no known cause for this among other autoimmune diseases. So my question is, how do we protect ourselves from a growing toxic environment? Can the nutrition program help to protect us from it? Because I heard another gentleman earlier said we have to deal with the interior of our bodies, and you and others were talking about the nutrition. But my concern is, how do we protect ourselves from this toxic environment that we are, the air, the water? Uh, I'm very sensitive to it. What do we do? Or is there a way with nutrition to protect ourselves from this toxic environment?
I'm going to let the more senior people answer that, but I will say that, you know,
Very good question.
What nutrition can do is strengthen your body to better fight. Again, I mean, look at my example. I was living in poison for 17 months. I don't know if you all are familiar with how dangerous black toxic mold is. I was exposed to Stachybotrys, which is the most toxic black mold that there is. For 17 months, I lived in that poison, day and night. And the place where I was living was actually my office in addition to my dwelling. So I was in there literally day and night. And it was the nutrition that was helping my body to fight. So I know that we do offer products that help you to detox as well, but I will let the more senior people answer that question for you. It's a great question.
Michelle, can you hear me clearly?
I can.
Okay, that's tuning in from Andros. Very good question.
Before you ask, are you providing an answer, or are you asking another question?
No, I like this question because it's legitimate, our environment, but I would like to make a comment afterwards.
Okay, so
if you're allowed, yeah.
Yeah, one of you want to answer, please?
Absolutely. Sheldon, I appreciate your question. I think it's very timely because if we'll just go over what can we consider as a toxins, it's the air, the toxins that are coming from the Wi-Fi. We're talking about 4G and 5G Wi-Fi. The toxins that can come from the bad way cooked food, or let's say burn meat or all that stuff. So I am excited to mention that the product that we are taking in Youngevity, 90 Nutrients, they're not only supplying the raw materials, but at the same time, it's actually, because it's builds a strong immune system, it's flushing off the toxins. So basically we're detoxifying and providing the raw materials at the same time. That's why our body can sustain the healthier level and have enough strength to fight with that. But that's internal work. For the external work, we do have amazing product that I personally use in every room of my house. It's air ionizer. So what is that? It's actually the small. It's looked like essential oil diffuser, but it's not a diffuser. It's also ionizer. So it's what it does. It actually cuts and keeps the mold and the pollen and all the toxins in the air and brings down to the water that is circulating in that machine. And it's not expensive. I personally purchased that was that's our wholesale approach within the $75. So, and you would be amazed when you cook actually and the machine is on, no one can tell that you're cooking, how effective it works. And let's say for hairstyle person or who is using like a coloring products, I have many customers who are actually using that at their workstations, and they just send me back the color of the water that captured all these toxins in the air.
Yeah.
And plus, we do have additional product that is gold covered EMR patches for cell phones, laptops, and for Wi-Fi stations. So basically those patches are basically kills the radiation, EMR radiation from the Wi-Fi. And let's say I purchased that for my cell phone, for my daughter's cell phone, because you know the teenagers especially, they're constantly on the phone. And that patch works for 18 months. And one patch is only, I believe, a $60, but it lasts 18 months. So we can provide more information on that. Basically, we have like, I would say, approach not only internal, but external too. because what I love about the longevity, with the product, you are constantly getting education. And if you have any questions, there is no questions that we cannot find the answer, because we have resources with the top doctors on the board who are open-minded, and they're not pharmaceutical oriented. So they're more naturopathic oriented doctors, and the Dr. Wallach itself. And by the way, I would like to mention that because of that strong research part of our nutritional company, we've been on the market for 25 years, and we know our product works. That's why we're giving you a 30 days absolutely guarantee on your product. If you don't like it, if you feel like it doesn't work for you, you can return the product with the full refund. And that's how we guarantee that we know that it works. So I love that opportunity from the corporate, that they allowed us to do that to our customers and to ourselves. So just please keep that in mind, because when you are joining our team, you're not joining only for the purpose to improve your health, but you're constantly getting educated, and you can, I mean, based on your curiosity. If you want to learn more, we have unlimited resources.
Okay.
I hope I was able to answer your question.
I want to show you guys the product that she was talking about, the thing
Yeah.
that cleans the air. This is what it looks like. You plug it in. It comes with the oil that you just dropped into the water, purified water, and it really does clean the air. And knowing my history with mold, this is in my bedroom. I keep it in my house to keep my air clean.
Yes, hello?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Prescott here from Andros.
Hi.
Yes, great show. Keep the education, Michelle. I just wanted to go on Sheldon's Maycock thing. I'm a big advocate when I talk about the environment, behemoths, that's overall. For example, in 1970s, we grew 30% of our food. We're in 2020, we're not even growing 10% of our food. So I know a lot of people know we're going through a very major change, but as a country, we will come out a lot better, because I can tell you, Michelle, the garbage that is imported in our country, our people are eating, is doing a lot of very citizens. And so when I grew up in Andros as a child, looking at my grandmother going in the field, these people were very healthy. They were all organic, sweet potato, the yard, such and such.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the transition with the stuff that is imported from these merchants. And now all of a sudden, the government realized we have to feed ourselves. And I'm saying this so as you continue to do the kind of shows that you're doing, we must keep an eye on chemical farmers, the GMOs, and the persons who are going to really be providing quality food for our citizens. As I can tell you, the things that I see us grow here in Andros, the Bahamians need to be aware of strawberries. All of these things that people don't think that we can grow in our country, we can grow them here. But the persons who are control the import of food, who bring in most of the stuff that they don't eat themselves, you will find that they were never interested in donating $1 towards BAMSI or becoming self-sufficient because of the economic self-interest. And so what you're doing is very important, and continue to expand, because like Mr. Makos said, I can tell you from the water table, Nassau, the chemicals in the ground, the all of the shortcuts that we've taken is all part of contributing to what you're promoting to reverse the drastic situation we're in. Thank you.
Can I tell you this?
Yes.
The only thing I purchase from the food store is non-perishables. But all of my produce I buy at the local farmers markets. Colin can tell you, because that's how I met him at the farmers market. because he's one of the vendors that I don't buy that product anymore. I only buy locally grown organic products. You mentioned strawberries. Strawberries is what they call one of the dirty dozen. It's one of the dirtiest non-organic strawberries. Have more pesticides and poisons on them than you would care to know. It's called one of the dirty dozen. So you really need to eat organic. And I'm really happy to see this great movement towards locally grown produce, getting the just attention that they should get and support, because that's the way to go. I do not buy local produce. Even my chicken, I buy from a local farmer, and I buy organic chicken, because the non-organic chicken is pumped up with all kinds of stuff. And if the animal that you ate it, then you're eating it. That's what people don't seem to understand. So you really, really need to go organic, and I highly recommend the local farmers markets. And to all of you farmers on here, we did mention that product that we have, that is food for the soil. It provides all the minerals, and you get, your crops are so much more, what's the word I'm looking for? You get much more return on your crops as a result of using that product. So I highly recommend that for farmers. All right. Now somebody had a couple of
Hi,
people.
Michelle.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just happy.
Okay. Yeah, I would.
Go on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna listen. No, you go on, sir. I'm just listening.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to just address something more, like make a statement, and at the same time, I want to address something that Mr. Makeoff would have said regarding to how do we help ourselves and also with the environment. So how do we help ourselves? I could take that as a individual thing, and then the environment, of course, could be a collective thing, right? Now, my name is Ras Cohen, by the way, for everybody. I'm from Kosher Drinks and Health, and one of the basic Ras Cohen from Kosher Drinks and Health. One of the basic things that we do is we do what we can to provide all of our products, all of our clients with the most natural products possible. One of our foundational move in getting into the whole health business is a personal one, because my father, he would have born in 1929 and he passed in 2015. At the age of 85, he could have keep up with me running, and I could run, but none of his stuff, like coming out, he was always into bush medicine and that old healthy eating. And at the same time, like I say, he passed in 2000, or he transitioned in 2015. So he would have gone through the age of non-modernization or non-processed food straight down to a processed food, and as well as technology in most part. So what I'm saying is to say is he used to tell me it was a time when there was no such thing as a pharmacy like how we see it today. Everything you would have to go in the bush, or you would have to provide some kind of natural means. So when it comes down to individual thing, most of us really have our own personal health experience that we go through each day. I think part of the key is slowing our body, or slowing time down, so to speak, understanding our body and trying to figure out what minerals we need, or what do our body need to combat what we are experiencing in a individual aspect. In a collective way, there are stuff that could be done, like how you mentioned, Mr. Maycock, about the burning of the dump. About that, one of the things that I noticed that I think is Hiroshima, what they did with the, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Am
hear you
I up?
fine.
Okay, one of the things what they did is to help with the toxins in the air. They planted cannabis trees around the area. As everybody knows, trees have the ability to absorb what is in the earth, as well as with some what is in the atmosphere. So with them planting the trees, it was able to counteract all the toxins in the air. Um, I think I think naturally we could look into these kind of measures, not saying just limited to that. Is the next thing where I live right now. It's a plant called spider. It's also other names, but I know it as the spider tree. What that does is that actually purifies the air. So there are natural stuff that we could do to help counteract that in a collective way and in a personal way.
Mm-hmm. A couple of people are asking where can the products be purchased. The way longevity is set up is that you can either become a distributor or you can become a preferred customer in order to access the wholesale prices, or you can just purchase retail, which is more expensive. But we would need, as a distributor, we would need to sign you up as either a preferred customer or a distributor. Now, what's the difference between the two? Both of them give you access to the prices wholesale, but a preferred customer does not have the ability to enroll other people or be gifted commissions from the company, because what the company does is it gives you commissions as a distributor on the volume of sales in your organization. So as a preferred customer, you would have access to the wholesale prices, but you won't be able to enjoy the commissions or enroll other people. Some people are only interested in the products for their own health, and the preferred customer route is fine. Others see this as an opportunity to create residual income, which at this time, I can't tell you how important that is. We all know, I mean, so many people have been laid off from their jobs and are wondering, what am I going to do next? They're telling us that our tourism product will probably not get back to close to normal until the end of the year, November. So I drove down Bay Street yesterday, and it's a ghost
If you're
town.
lucky.
If we're
If you're
lucky.
lucky, Michelle.
Yeah, if we're lucky. I drove down Bay Street yesterday on the way home, and it's a ghost town. And you know, we need to start thinking of ways that we can create residual income, because when you have a job, somebody said job means just over broke. Uh, all a job does for you is it allows you to exchange time for money, time for money, time for money. You give them your time, they give you some money. You give them your time, and in most cases, they don't give you what you deserve. So what happens to you if you get sick? What happens if you can't exchange that time anymore? And you have a problem. And so what longevity offers is an opportunity for you to create residual income, where you make the money while you sleep, because it's not just based on your efforts, but you and your entire team's efforts as well. And we could definitely give you more information on that if you are interested. I want to throw out my email address, because what I would like you to do is I'd like you to send me an email if you're interested in learning more about the products or interested in becoming a distributor or a preferred customer. Email address is livingyoungevity. That's LIVINGYOUNGEVITY. I'll repeat it. Living, LIVING, longevity, YOUNGEVITY @gmail.com. And in your email, I need you to say specifically who invited you to this Zoom webinar. Okay? It's very important that you let us know who invited you here. So send us an email if you want more information on the products, or if you are interested in becoming a distributor, or you just want, you know, a preferred customer. Any questions about a specific ailment, send us that information via email, and I promise I'll get back to you as soon as possible. One of the things that I often do, because people reach out to me and they say, Michelle, somebody's dealing with this particular ailment, what do you recommend for that? In addition to sending them the health assessment survey, which, by the way, I've posted the link to the survey in the comment section, so just look there for that link where you can fill that out. What I do is I go to YouTube and I type in Joel Wallach, or Dr. Wallach, WALLACH, and then I type in the condition. And I'm telling you, a video will come up with Dr. Wallach saying what he recommends to battle a particular condition. There are tons and tons and tons of videos with Dr. Wallach on YouTube. So I'm also going to type in some information on a website that you can go to get more information about Dr. Wallach and longevity products itself. I will put in a website there as well, that you can take your time and go and check out what the company has to offer. And I want to say this, that I know that there are other companies out there, but nothing compares to longevity. There are over 2,000 products available to you in longevity, over 2,000 products. And I'm a living testimony. I swear by them. You heard Gary in that video. He's a living testimony. He swears by them. The products work. They work. They work. I wouldn't be sitting here. You know, I'm a public figure in the Bahamas, and I'm very, very careful to put my name on anything. And so I don't, you know, people would approach me all the time to endorse this or endorse that. I'm not going to endorse something I don't believe in, because my reputation is on the line, and my reputation is everything in the business that I'm in. But I heavily endorse longevity because it's helped to save my life. I'm a living testimony of the effectiveness of longevity.
I would like just to mention that we are as a team, we're always supporting each other. And if you will decide to join, you will get all these resources with the team membership with us. So, and plus I would like to mention that you would be surprised to learn that we all not only have a products, but we have a services too. So longevity can become a very strong answer in the market for everyone who is looking for achieving the optimal health. We do have totally separate, like additional line to longevity. It's organic coffee. And we have a hemp product, which is very strong right now on the American market. It's a CBD oil. And we do have even coffee with the CBD hemp oil. So we have a lot of product that we can address and talk about. And I know that Michelle will be sending you the website where you can check more. But I would say, I would definitely suggest to start to advocate from your own self. And as Michelle mentioned greatly, she is living testimonial. And I can tell about myself that how longevity actually brought my whole family to much healthier level and saved from cancer, Alzheimer, and at the bottom line, brought to Lord. So I have tons of testimonials too, and when we'll get to know you as a team member, we can definitely talk in deep on that. But I'm still open for the questions if you have one.
Michelle, I have just one quick question with regards to the cleaner air machine.
Yeah.
Is that for private use only, or can it be used in commercial areas or commercial settings?
Sabina, you want to answer that?
Absolutely. So normally we do recommend, it's based on the square footage. So it's recommended for 1 or 2 rooms. I would say if it's commercial area, you might just need to purchase 1 or 2 items just to cover the whole area. Depends how much square footage you have. Because we do have our customers who are purchasing that for the hair salons. We have our customers who are taking that to the constructions area where they're using heavy paintings. So it depends how much area we need to cover. So normally one equipment covers 1 floor in the house, or let's say the big room, living room. Again, it all depends on the room and the house, I would say. But let's say in what I recommend, at least to have 1 for each bedroom and 1 for the living room.
So
it's not expensive.
The recommended square footage is noted with the product. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, we do have a recommendation, and we do have a special essential oil combinations that comes with the machine that you can pick and choose. Let's say if it's commercial, we do have specific combination of the essential oil. And by the way, it's a 500 cc's, I believe, the bottle that lasts for a very long time, and you need just to use 5 cc's at the time. And that specifically focusing on, let's say, cleaning up the air. But let's say if you decide to take that for your house and keep that in your children's bedroom, we do have a special essential oils for the nighttime, cleaning the air and at the same time calming down and helping kids to have healthier sleep. So it's many different combination, depends on your specific need.
Okay, because I mean, I use the products. The products are excellent, and they've proven themselves. So
I would like to explore that a little more. Thank you.
Great. Very happy to hear that.
Sabina, he's being modest. That's my pastor, Alvin Greenslade from, Allison Greenslade from Bible Truth Ministries.
Oh.
I thought my name changed. Okay, okay.
He's being very modest, but I was introduced to Pastor Greenslade through Raymond Murphy, who I saw on the call earlier. I'm not sure if he's still on the call on the WhatsApp. And they invited me into the church to come and do a presentation on longevity. And I went in to do the presentation and they hooked me. I ended up joining the church. But Pastor started taking the products and he can tell you it's made a tremendous difference in his life. And his daughter is a medical doctor. I can leave that right there. So thanks, Pastor, for joining us on the call today.
No problem, no problem. The product actually, it really works. In real terms, it's the only thing I'm using in real terms with regards to the energy necessary to perform the task as a pastor. Really, especially the I don't know what you call it, essential something that has 7 tablets in all. It really provides the necessary energy for a particular day. And I don't miss. I might, yeah, I do read the Bible, but I'm gonna miss my vitamins. I do take them on a regular basis.
That's amazing. Thank you for your testimonial. That's great.
Dr. Wallach has broken down illness into 4 major categories. And so he has one set of products that are formulated for one category of illness, and each category has its own unique set of products. So for instance, if someone tells me that they have high blood pressure, then I know that that's a bone and joint issue, because that is one of the illnesses that falls under that particular category of illness. And it's amazing because oftentimes people will come to me now and they'll say, Michelle, I'm dealing with this. And I say, well, do you have a problem with that? And they'll say, yeah. And I say, well, that's, you need to take this. A couple of years ago, I met a young man who was having a problem with his back, not Gary that you saw in the video. He was having a pinched, no, he was having not a problem with his back. He was having heart issues, irregular heartbeat. And I remember watching a video where Dr. Wallach had appeared on the Benny Hinn show. And Benny Hinn had asked him about this irregular heartbeat. And Dr. Wallach said, have you ever had a problem with your back? And he said, yeah, I injured my back sometime last year, whatever. Dr. Wallach says, fix the back, you'll fix the heart. And he's like, what? They're connected? And so he goes on to explain, and if you Google it, not if you YouTube, search YouTube, you'll find all these videos on YouTube. He went on to explain that if you injure your back, he goes into the technical explanation, but in essence, it leads to an irregular heartbeat. But what will the medical profession do? They'll put you on a pacemaker, as opposed to looking for what is causing the problem. So when I met this young man and he told me he had this irregular heartbeat, etc., I said, have you ever had a problem with your back? And he was like, yeah, I injured my back and I had to go see a chiropractor. And I said, well, if you fix that, you'll fix the heart problem. And they look at you like you're crazy, like, what? What does that have to do with my heart? But after being a student of Dr. Wallach for so many years, you get to learn these things. So immediately, now sometimes I have to go and I still have to search on YouTube. If somebody tells me they have a particular condition, I have to go and look it up. But I will say this, people, this is very important to understand. If you are at the point where you're very ill, don't think that you can take these products for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden, ta-da, you're healed. It don't work like that. I tell people it didn't take you 2 weeks to get the sick, and it's not going to take you 2 weeks to heal from it. You have to give the products time to work. We recommend that you do at least 90 days to see a real difference. And usually within that time, you will see a difference and people continue to take the products because they see where they're getting better. But just don't take it and say, well, I took it for 2 weeks and I see no difference. Come on, man, that condition ain't developed in 2 weeks. So why are you expecting to be healed in 2 weeks? You have to give the products time to work. And one of the things that Dr. Wallach says is that when you're trying to heal through nutrition, you got to go hard at it. You got to go hard at it. You really have to go hard at it with nutrition to heal. But it is possible to heal. Any other questions?
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Does any do you all have any persons with disabilities using this product?
When you say disabilities, what are you talking about specifically?
Do you all have anyone with disabilities in general using your products?
I'm sure we do. There are how many distributors do we have worldwide, Sabina?
I will have a hard time to say specific number, but
Yeah.
we do have more than 7 international countries. So it's almost all Asia, Russia, Canada, Mexico, and now we're building Bahamas. So it's a lot, and in London, I forgot to mention the Europe. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have specific numbers, but we have a lot.
And I'm sure that there are people who have disabilities on that group. I'm sure there's nothing stopping. There's nothing in these products that would harm someone with disabilities. So I don't know if that's why you were asking, but yes, I'm sure we have people that have disabilities.
We do have, yeah, absolutely. We do have people with different disabilities. You need to understand that we're not making the harm to the body. There is no side effects by taking a raw nutrients. It's just you just helping your natural way of your body to rejuvenate the cells. And by the way, the reason why we do recommend to give your body a chance for 90 days, because it's proven by research that it takes at least 90 days for your cells, starting from the top of your skin down to the bones, to rejuvenate. And we do have a scale that we can actually even post on the conversation, just shows on each organ how much time it takes to whole area, all organ to rejuvenate. So basically keep in mind, 3 months is the average time, and that's why what we promote, 90 nutrients for 90 days. That will affect every body, like a whole system, your whole body, your whole temple will be renewed.
I want to say this too, that sometimes if your body is so ill, you may find, like, for instance, one of the problems that I have is digestive issues. I explained to you that the leaky gut syndrome and affected my thyroid. So I know that digestive issues is one of the things that I deal with, and all my life I have. And so if I have not been on a product for a while, like when I first started taking longevity, there's a product in the pack, the 90 for Life, that deals specifically with bone and joints, etc. It's called OsteoFX. And I had to decrease the amount of OsteoFX I took and then gradually increase it to the point where it's recommended to take, because of my compromised digestion system, it was hard on my stomach initially. And I said to Sabrina, I don't know if I can continue to take this. She says, just decrease the amount, go with half the recommended amount and slowly increase until you get to the point where it's recommended. Now I don't have a problem. But I say that to say that if your body is compromised, sometimes you have to build up to, you know, to get to the point where you can take sufficient to heal the body because of the level of compromise that your body might be. So that's important to understand and to know. But listen, I haven't met anybody as yet that has taken these products that have not seen results, who has stuck with it. And the key is to stick with it. You can't take it for 2 or 3 weeks and then say it ain't work. But I have not met anybody that has stuck with these products that have not seen results. Real talk. If we don't have any more questions, I just want to say, listen, you guys, thank you so much. This is my first time doing one of these.
Can I just make a comment, Michelle?
Sure.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking this challenge on and for bringing health awareness to our local and international community. I would love to invite you to visit our farm. We take care of the land. That's our land. And we feel like we were rewarded by having the land now able to take care of us. And I guess that's kind of what the universe is saying. We've been messing things up for so long that now the universe is saying, okay, it's our time to clean up. You guys have abused us. And I really pray that when everything opens up, when the world opens up, that we all have a more conscious way of living, living, making right choices about what we eat, what we put in our mouths, how we heal ourselves. And, that's what, our whole focus when Nick started this business 27 years ago, Abaconim, his whole motive was to help the body heal. And when we have a customer who says, like for diabetes, what can I do? What can I take? We always start with nutrition. Neem is not a magic pill. And we try to get people away from the concept that you can just take a pill to reverse the damages that they've done, the poor choices that they've made over the years. We're both in our 60s. And honestly, I can say I've reversed cholesterol, all that you have said earlier about nutrition, health, plant-based diet. We do eat meat. We do eat some, but fresh, naturally grown meats. And our basic diet is more plant-based, and we grow as much as we can. We eat as much as we can. Coconut water, I can't say enough about fresh coconut water. We've got thousands of trees, coconut trees, thank God that we have a natural source. But I want to invite you and thank you for taking this initiative to coming to visit us on the farm so that you can have this experience. We call it bathing in the forest. Just by walking through, like every morning I try to do like a mile and a half walk, if not in the morning, in the afternoon, and hearing the birds, smelling the leaves, just letting nature heal us is so important for reducing stress, supporting our immune systems. It's not just about food, it's about everything. All of our lifestyle choices come together to make us either healthy or unhealthy. It's our choice.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
so I just
you.
wanted to make sure I get back to you and extend that to you and congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. I really appreciate it.
And thank everybody else, especially your friends who are in the the frontline doctors and nurses and healthcare providers.
Yes, Sabina.
We pray for them every day, and we have so many in our country who are compromised, and
thank you,
we just
darling.
have to
I
lift them
appreciate
all
that.
up in prayer. We have to lift you all up in prayer and know that you are
Thank
lifted
you.
up in prayer by those who you don't even know.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I think you will enjoy to learn that we have amazing blooming minerals for the garden. And I believe Michelle will provide you some more information on that. And I totally agree with you. We're not only about the nutrition, especially our team, we're focusing on helping to get that balance between spirit, soul, and body, because we need to always to remember that. And Michelle, there is a questions, I think, in the chat. I truly would like to say that our product is very affordable, and we always can work with your budget. I've been answering people privately. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been putting the questions in. Yeah, I've been answering. Matter of fact, I'm doing that right now as we speak. So yeah, if you can't compare us to what you're going to buy in the pharmacy over the counter, the synthetic stuff. It's cheaper, but it's also not doing your body any good. So we will be more expensive than that, but we can make it work. It's not.
You get what you pay for.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
At least you pay up front for health instead of at the back end for illness. I always say, invest in your health so you don't have to, lose everything to illness, including most of all quality of life.
I really agree with what she just said in light of some things that we do on a day-by-day basis don't really contribute to our health. But then when it comes down to things that contribute to our health, we don't, we side-eye it, or sometimes when it comes down to price, we side-eye it. But at the same time, surgery is very expensive. And like in one of the videos, because surgery is so expensive, they have this hidden alternative, which is the unwanted pills that your body don't care for. You know, so when you do find something natural or product natural, I think the best thing to do is just go at it straight out, you know, wholeheartedly.
I have one more video that I didn't play because I didn't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Overdo it. But this is, if you guys want to see it, this is a video with Dr. Wallach talking about cancer because he was specifically asked about cancer.
In your research over time, have you discovered that cancer is also of the cause of a vitamin deficiency?
Well, there's many things we know about cancer. Number one, this is one of my lawsuits against the FDA, and I prevailed in federal courts to be able to say that you can prevent or reduce the risk of many different cancers by supplementing with 200 micrograms a day of the trace mineral selenium. Reduce the risk of certain cancers like breast cancer by 82%, prostate cancer by 69%, and breast cancer by 32% just by supplementing with 200 micrograms of selenium. You can also reduce the risk of breast cancer by 462% by just cooking your meat medium rare instead of well done. The cancer bullseye in America is Jackson, Mississippi. When you look at the cancer rate across the United States, the worst place to be in America for cancer is Jackson, Mississippi.
Why is that?
Well, that's because they fry everything there. There's rumors they even fry water. We know they fry ice cream, but they might even fry water. And fried foods cause trans fatty acids, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides. These are chemicals far more dangerous than anything that Monsanto and Dow Chemical will make. And eating fried foods causes cancer. People have to come to grips with this. And of course, this goes along with the study from the University of South Carolina, which came out in 1998.
Well, let me just jump in there real quick. I love fried foods. Do you have a supplement that I can take that I can still eat my fried foods?
I wouldn't suggest that, but we do know that antioxidants, which will reduce the level of free radical damage, you're going to have to eat 100,000 ORAC points an hour, okay, to compensate for eating fried foods. I just wouldn't play with that. It's like playing with a loaded gun, pointing at yourself and pulling the trigger and say, well, there's only one shell in there, bam, you're dead. And the same thing is I wouldn't give anybody permission to take more antioxidants and eat fried foods. I don't do it. You're going to get some protection, but I've known people who have tried it and they didn't do well.
Selenium could help to reduce risk of cancer. But again, you're not going to hear that from the medical profession. Maybe because they just don't know, quite frankly. They have 15 hours of nutrition over 6 years. Come on. So you can't blame them for what they don't know. And I'm very encouraged to see doctors nowadays who are encouraging people to start taking nutrition in addition to seeing a traditional doctor. I think that's very encouraging. I had one or two of them on my show, and I had to say to them, I am very encouraged to hear this. And when you look at what is happening with COVID-19, it's clear that they only know what they know. This COVID-19 is a thing that's baffling them in many ways, and they're just learning as they go. There's a joke that says, there's a reason why it's called that they say they are practicing a doctor, because they really just practice it. But yeah, they only know what they know. They have not been trained in nutrition, and so I can't blame them for what they don't know. But I'll blame me for not educating myself and getting the information that I need to be healthier.
What is the holdback? Fried food is like an addiction across this country. What is the holdback from getting this information branded in people's minds, how unhealthy it is? Because your statement earlier when you asked the question, how many of us know people with hypertension, kidney disease? I mean, I'm starting to lose track of friends who have died of cancer or kidney disease, like personal friends. I had a cousin die just day before yesterday, cancer.
My deepest sympathy.
So it's becoming so rampant that we keep hearing these sad stories. It's like every day, and it always goes back to the same common denominators.
Yeah.
But what can be done to, I don't know, scare people into living more healthy? Because the lines at the fast food places circle around, and I'm of the view that, okay, we're in this curfew. Why couldn't it be mandatory that, okay, you're opening up your fast food place, just sell the healthy stuff, the salads, the juices. Don't sell the fried stuff. Would that have been fair? Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's scary.
They're in the business of making money. Did you know that Wendy's in the Bahamas is the highest Wendy's money earner around the world? Did you know that? That we lead the world in Wendy's sales? The world.
I would like to add to it. I think the resolution to hold the situation in Bahamas is the knowledge. I think if we'll start to advocate for our neighbors, for our family members, and just to share this information, the knowledge and the truth give us the freedom of choice. And by the way, addiction to the fried food is actually one of the identification that you have a deficiency in combination of 4 different minerals. As soon as you're starting to replace that with our health pack, you basically stop craving fried food. So that's the key factor. I mean, we still can have all these restaurants, but what choice would I do? So after my body is not craving the fried food, I will choose to get a salad. But when my body is depend on that combination, because it's just the emptiness of my tank, my body, I would crave the fried food. So again, I think just the knowledge, and as it says in the Bible, you know, the lack of knowledge, actually the people have vanished because of the lack of knowledge. That's why our goal is just to bring that knowledge and to give that hope that there is a hope, and it helps us to make a better choices in life.
This was really good, Michelle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra.
Excellent.
So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm so glad you could make it. And thank you to everyone. You know, I just decided to do this. I think it was yesterday. I don't know if Ruby is still here, but Ruby asked me to put one together for her, a group of friends at first. And I said, well, you know what? Let's just invite a bunch of people to this at the same time. So this was just decided like yesterday. So I'm really excited that we had so many people on. And
so now you know we have to do it again.
Yes,
knowledge is power.
For sure. And this time with more advance notice so that we can get more people on. But listen, guys, you have the knowledge, so now it's time for you to share it. You know what I mean? We have to be crusaders. We call ourselves in Longevity crusaders because we have to get the message out. And you know what? I don't want you to underestimate the power of communication, because Jesus only had 12 disciples, but yet his message has gone around the world. And 12 people, 12 disciples. So nowadays, I mean, he didn't even have WhatsApp and
and
it
Zoom
was just
meetings.
word of mouth. So imagine with all these tools that we have nowadays, how much more we can get the word out. So yeah, let's get the word out. Let's get the word out and infect the world with knowledge, you know, to counteract this COVID-19. We can do it.
Absolutely, we can.
So thank you, everyone. Please check the email address. Send me an email. Check out the health assessment survey. Check out the informational website. Here to answer whatever questions that we can. Just drop me a line and we'll get right back to you. Thank you so much for being here today. It made me feel good, man. I wasn't sure what to expect. But thanks so much for being here.
All right, babe.
All right, y'all be blessed. And be safe out there. Take care of yourselves.
All righty, bye.
All righty, bye-bye.